continue to give of the best to the nation from those early days in which they became familiar with the Tsatsu. So I reiterate my message to the youth. Mobilizing the youth for nation building is critical. And Jerry Rawlings showed the way to inspire and mobilize the country.
No, but I could put in about
whether they were in the military context or in the civilian context, he showed dedication, hard work, smart thinking, teamwork, which he referred to himself in that interview, were required. And so, cadre formation countrywide is how Rawlings uncovered talents across the nation, including the talents of our current party chairman, as well as the planners. Of course, women's empowerment was also a critical aspect of his commitment. And in this context, he was helped tremendously by his wife of Blessed Mrs. Nana. No one can underrate or undervalue the role of the 31st December movement in galvanizing the women of Ghana into support for the revolutionary process and the no one can underrate the role of December 31st. There are, of course, lessons to be learned going forward. Throughout all of this, Rawlings avoided the personalization of leadership. He was never interested in his name appearing on national places of significance, and he never had a certain agenda. On the international stage, as I mentioned, there was the restoration of Ghana's place in the Community of Nations. Ghana's respect amongst the international community, especially on the continent of Africa, was extremely high. And this was a period in which South Africa, for instance, benefited from the solidarity of Ghana in the struggle against apartheid rule and the establishment under the Mandela of a new South Africa. The ending of the civil war in Liberia and the peace that was brought about was also very much through the efforts of fighters from the time of the movement through this was also a period of strengthened relations between Ghana and the African diaspora. African Americans as well as those in the Caribbean. Some of you may remember that Emancipation Day, an important celebration for those in the Caribbean, became a significant historical event in Ghana also. There are many achievements of Rawlings at home and abroad, but perhaps the most important achievement, which consolidates his legacy, is that he drew into the service of the nation the dedication and commitment of some of the most talented and patriotic Ghanaians of the generation. The achievements during his periods of leadership, as he recognized, were collective achievements. Though one must never forget his dynamic and courageous leadership that made the collective work possible.
So when it's finished, then you continue from where you ended.
On an occasion a few years ago, somebody who had been a chief director in the Ministry of Finance during the late 80s and 90s walked across to me after a funeral service at the Spring Church. And he spoke with such passion. He said that he was in a situation where his pension was under threat from the domestic debt exchange program, as it was called. His pension was under threat. And he started to call the work ethic of the PNC and NDC and the Rawlings. And he just stated matter of fact that for all that someone like him had done for the country in those days, he was now finding himself in the position of a pauper because he had a pension that he was entitled to was being devalued. Now that for me was a telling conversation. I never forgot it. I never forgot it because it made it clear to me that the nature of the collective enterprise that Rawlings stimulated did not just include party political. Let's be clear. That collective enterprise involved some straightforwardly honest public servants who had continued to serve the nation. And I believe that we in the NDC must recognize this aspect of our responsibilities if we are to project the Rawlings legacy. We must project it, indeed, as a party we must own it, but we must recognize that it is owned by the nation and not just by us. The Fourth Republic, which was inaugurated by J. Rawlings, has provided the longest period of stable constitutional democratic order. And we in the NDC must be proud of it, we must guard it jealously, but we must not take it for granted, especially when there have been signs of increasing loss of confidence in politicians by ordinary citizens. Within the ranks of the NDC, we must hold each other accountable to our So, probity and accountability form the bedrock of the work of national reconstruction, restoration of confidence in politicians. But probity and accountability are not sufficient. Nation building, economic development tasks are not about rhetorical slogans. They involve hard work, smart decision making, and the building of institutions. They involve establishing capacities for people to achieve wealth. Wealth not for themselves, but for the people. Wealth not for politicians and their families and their associates, but for the people of Ghana. So, in honor of J. Rawlings and as an expression of the ideals of the NDC, we must raise the bar of service to the nation and mobilize the nation to reconstruct the future. Never again the disaster of 2017.